My grandmother, let me tell you a few things about her. Number one, she was unmarried for most of her life. I think she got married about the age of 15 and got divorced by 19 or something like that. She had 5 kids that she raised by herself. She never made more than $25,000 a year. She never got a 4-year college degree. But despite all of this, she never had to borrow money from anybody. She always had perfect credit. She owned her own home. She owned her car. She owned pretty much everything, and had all her credit cards were empty, and everything in her life was perfectly planned financially, all the way down to the cardinal red dress that she was buried in on the last day that we said goodbye to her. And I looked at her life and I thought about it, and I thought back to when I was a kid, and I remember when my grandmother used to buy me Christmas gifts. She didn't buy me, toys and whatever little toys that we played with when I was little. She would buy me savings bonds. Savings bonds. Now think about that. I mean, how many parents do you know that buy their kids savings bonds at Christmas time, as opposed to Air Jordans or video games? My grandmother bought me savings bonds. She did that every single Christmas, every single birthday. And that was when I began to be introduced to the idea of compound interest. Because at that point, as a kid, I didn't know anything about what it means to invest money, what it means to allow your money to work for you, or what it means for your money to grow into something bigger than what it was when you first got it. So she would give me a savings bond that said $100 on it, and I thought that I was actually getting $100. But actually, I wasn't getting $100. I was actually getting $50 that she spent on the savings bond. Most of us are defined by the tree from which we came. And so you know a little bit about the tree. Let me tell you a little bit about the apple. The apple might be me. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, as you might already know. I have a PhD in finance, which was one of the hardest things in life for me to ever do. I studied finance in school because I wanted to understand money, because I didn't have any money. And I figured that if I studied money and learned about money, somebody would pay me money to talk about money. One of the interesting things that I learned along the way, and I wrote my dissertation on financial psychology, as I learned that for at least my personal experience, my relationship with money was not as hard and fast as I thought it was. It wasn't something where I needed as much money as I could possibly have, and I wanted to sort of worship money, because that's what we have in America. We have a capitalist society where people are taught and trained to worship money. And I'm going to talk to you in a while about why that's just a bad trap to kind of get caught in. I found that money was important to me because I didn't have any, almost the way a bathroom is really important to you when you have to go, but it's not important to you anymore after you've already went. After I got my PhD in finance, I went to Syracuse University, and I taught at Syracuse University for 13 years. Before that, while I was studying, I taught at the University of Kentucky, the Ohio State University, Indiana University, the University of Rochester. So I've taught a lot of people. I've taught literally thousands of students over the years, a lot of students who've gone on to do things on Wall Street, to start their own businesses, to become CFOs of companies and things like that. And so I learned a little bit about money, and I just want you to give you that background so you'll just kind of know where this is coming from. And one of the things that excites me about teaching you and talking to you about black economic empowerment in this context is that I realized that I was blessed with the opportunity to take the fundamental lessons that my grandmother gave me, which I was still getting even after I finished my PhD. Even when I'm teaching students and I'm thinking I know everything, my grandmother's still giving me financial advice. Once I took that and laced that with my expertise, I found that it became a complete package. Because one thing that my grandmother really taught me is that good financial choices really are exactly that. They're choices. Your financial situation is as much about your personality as it is about your financial wherewithal.